Welcome everybody. It is Sunday, November 13th, 2022. I mean, the time is flying. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations show with your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. We are live on Facebook, my Facebook page, which I have opened up publicly so she can share and everybody else can share. We are live on Twitter. We are live on Twitch. We are live on the YouTube channel, which is the name of the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is gonna be an awesome show, like every show that I have. I am biased because I love all my guests. They are dope in their own special way. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again since I started this, and it is a real thing. So, however, today, oh my God, even though I normally do it on Tuesday and Thursday, this one is so busy, we had to do it on a special day. So, this is why we're here today. So, let me get into this wonderful woman bio. Once I do that, then I will let you know how I know her, and then we're going to get into this wonderful conversation. I will tell you, from the first time I met her, I knew she was special. um she was in a place of her own, like we all were. And then we'll get into that conversation, but however, I wanted to put that out there immediately. So, her bio: she is the founder of an awesome organization that definitely needs to be promoted, needs to be acknowledged for the cause, as well as for people to help out where needed. She is the founder of a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded in the year 2013 in Michigan by a single mom. The the organization is called Single Family Living. Ms. Hunley was faced with isolation and preconceived stereotypes from society due to her marital status. Ms. Hunley realized that statistically, children from single parent homes are more likely to grow up in a life of crime, poverty, and lack of quality education. Ms. Hunley was determined to do something about being another statistic and strive for higher education for herself. Ms. Hunley founded Single Family Living, which is committed to serving those who are in need, and most throughout Detroit Tri-County areas. Children in under-resourced communities who do not have access to quality education due to economic and or social barriers. SFL began on a journey of helping children from single-parent homes, learning the importance of education, positive mentorship, mental health awareness, affordable housing, and STEM courses by providing parents with workshops for single parents and their children ages K through 12 and beyond. Over the years, we have provided over 8,500 events, impacted thousands of children from single parent homes throughout our service area, which includes Detroit metro area. We have shared our expertise in collaborations with organizations in Flint and Saginaw area, Lansing area, and Toledo, Ohio region, which has resulted in positive outcomes for thousands of families due to their education to helping others achieve success through education. At Single Family Living, we are devoted to helping single parents and their children live their best lives. We do this by empowering them with knowledge, resources, and support they need to overcome the challenges of being a single parent. So, you guys, I want you to welcome the founder of Single Family Living, Jeri Hunley.
Thank you. It's such an honor just to be here, and I'm so thankful that you invited me. And that was very sweet that you said that great thing about me. So thank you.
I could see if it was just, something that I was just saying, that it wasn't true, but it is. I was talking to Christina Kennedy, was on last week, and I was telling her, like, our class that came into Osborne that year was so overwhelmed with intelligent beings that they was like, okay, so we need to turn Osborne into a magnet school because these kids have scored off the charts. At the time, King Cast Renaissance was full, so we basically had to go here. And I when I say it was the best time in the 4 years of a school, being grouped with individuals who had goals, who were intelligent. I mean, you name it, from athletes to the books to whatever. We were all grouped together the whole 4 years.
Yeah, we were pretty amazing. Everybody.
And so I wanted to tell you, from the time I met you, and several of our classmates, I knew for sure that you were going to be somebody. I really did. And I say that not lightly.
You
It,
gonna
it
make
was
me cry.
I'm,
Don't
I'm
do it.
I'm so
Don't do
serious.
it.
Um, there was this show back in the day. We called it Punky Brewster, right? And there was Blossom, right?
Yeah.
And I love those girls because they were so unique in their dressing, how they thought, how they talked, all types of stuff. There was nobody like them, and I, in turn, call you one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You were literally in your own. I mean, she was tall. She would had the long hair, and
Weird.
sometimes she
They
would
call
have
me
her hair
weird.
in a ponytail. And she was smart. Like, you know how like some people voices and things of that nature, when they talk, is like you listen. And it's still that voice, like I remember when we were kids.
You're so funny. And I mean, you are amazing. You are still the same as before. You're like a so fierce and empowered. You was young woman, but you was so fierce. You wasn't having no mess with nobody.
No, I was
I just
I
admired that
back
so
then.
much.
It was funny because when I look back at certain things, it's like I didn't remember that part. Like I was a big tomboy. And so I made sure that
Yeah.
I protected those who was potentially would get bullied by people.
Yeah.
And I was not having it. I don't care if you
See?
were a male. I don't care if you were a female. I Please don't cross me. Please.
Right.
And I remember in some of those instances, like, yeah, I listen, I came to school, don't mess with me, don't mess with my friends, and you'll be okay.
Yeah. I was on the right side though, right?
Wow, that's funny. That is hilarious. So let us get into this conversation before I start blushing some more.
Okay.
So um we talked about a little bit about our days, was the beginning part of our 4 years at Osborne High School. We came in the class of 92, and of course, graduated in 96. During those times that you were at Osborne, did you ever see or feel that you were actually going to be in the spot that you are now?
Never. Never.
So, if memory corrects me right, did you go to Michigan State?
I got accepted to a lot of colleges, but I ended up going to Wayne State. And then I left there because I did horribly. Um, and then I went to U of D, and then I did amazing there. I was on the
Wow, okay.
dean's list and everything. So, sometimes you need to find yourself in a better situation and smaller group, and it's a smaller college. And then from there I went on and got my master's. So
Wait,
throughout that journey.
wait, you say you have a master's?
Yes I do.
Girl, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you go to school for?
So I went for law. Yeah. And during that time, when I had my kids, I wasn't able to continue on pursuing law school because it was very, very demanding. And I wanted to be there for my kids because I am a single mom. And I just wanted to make sure that the most important thing in my life was my legacy and was my kids. And you only put in what you put in, and if
Yeah.
you don't put in, the work with your kids, then who knows what you know what might happen to their future. So I wanted them to have me, but also I wanted to also pursue my second love, which was IT. So I ended up pursuing my career in IT.
Wow. Mm. So I remember Days in Osborne when I said we were grouped together in in classes together from the magnet basically program of Osborne that they had to actually they made up the year we went in because we were so intelligent. We had the best of the best of the teachers that they had to offer from the classes. If I'm not mistaken, you were also uh, were you a part of the class like something like when we were I think you
Yeah,
were.
I was the officer. Yeah.
Were you vice president?
No, I was at one time. Yeah. Until they were like, "Oh no, you can't be. We can't have multiple vice presidents." So, um, they just put me as a historian. So I was historian, which I was
Oh.
cool with it. I mean,
And I remember, National Honor Society. I remember all of this stuff that we were all in together.
yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in everything. Science fair. I was one of the big nerds.
We were, we were
I
super
was in
nerds.
everything. Yeah.
I had no choice. I mean, because my parents didn't play that. If I wanted to do anything on the left hand side, I had to make sure that my right hand side was
Exactly. And we had to go to depth up and
yes,
you know,
yes,
Sunday school. No, that
all of that.
nah, all of
I
that.
thought I was going to be a computer engineer until I got to U of M and was like, yeah, that's not it. No,
I
ma'am.
know, reality hits, right?
No, ma'am. I was like, I wasted all them Saturdays and did not go into engineering at all.
But
At
it's
all.
cool. It's cool. Look
But
at
I
you
wanted to
now.
bring up this point of that sometimes we have an idea, a kind of an inkling of what we might become.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just changes. Life happens. And you
Don't
have
get me
to
started.
listen, you have to make those decisions to am I going to go down with the ship or am I going to make it some repairs where I can actually continue to
Yeah.
go on? And so I want to go there with you. I
Oh
had no
no.
idea. Yes, ma'am. I had no idea that you had kids at all. It's
Yeah.
been years since I've had any, actual contact with you. So I had
We
no
gotta
idea.
change that. We gotta change that.
Absolutely. And so with this type of podcast, it's more so like we have to do a connection to, where we come from, where we are, where we trying to go. Because again, we can't do this by ourselves at
Yeah.
all. It
Yeah.
takes the village.
Yeah.
And now that I know I have someone who, unfortunately, we do know people who are single parents
Yeah.
who need help.
Yeah.
We didn't, well, for those, I'm sure they did not plan to be like, oh, I'm gonna have this kid, and it's gonna be the fairy tale ending. We're all gonna go to the palace together. That's what
No, I never
we're.
heard anybody that is a single parent or was a single parent say, and they wake up one morning and say, "Hey, it's a great day to be a single parent." It doesn't pan out like that. Um, some do, and that's a blessing for them that make is able to make those choices. choices. For me, no, it wasn't something that was planned. But you know what? It's a blessing. It's a blessing to have kids and to just try to figure things out, because when you were like a planner like I planned everything to the T. Sometimes God you know, don't have that in your cards. And sometimes this is like is meant for you to go through certain trials and tribulations in order to make you a greater person.
It's a
So I
part of your
figure,
journey.
yeah, so I figure that's where I'm at now.
Which is still, commendable. Um, and I'll give you your flowers now.
Oh no.
Again, it could have been another way. It could have been, she couldn't take, the pressure of life with, being on her own with children to take care of. And for you, your assignment, we're going to say it, this is your assignment, because a lot of times it's in our heart. And sometimes we don't know it until we hit that bridge. Like, okay, God, I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's not easy being a trailblazer.
Yeah.
And I brought this up again because when I saw you in high school, you were a trailblazer then. To this
Nice.
day, we all know the name Blossom and we all know the name of Punky Brewster
Mhm.
and all their uniqueness and all the things that they showed us and taught us as young women
Right.
to accept your differences.
Yeah.
There was nobody in that school like you.
Wow.
Nobody on
Wow.
no level.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. I accept
When
that.
we did tests, when we did anything, you were in the top 5, at least top 10. I want to say top 5 of
Yeah.
everything that we did in Osborne.
Yeah.
So again, there's a trend that we don't see when we're there.
Right.
But I want to let you know, honey, there's still no one like you.
Wow. Thank you.
So God used something that we didn't plan to make you get to a place where, look, I need to be a trailblazer for those who will come behind me or who's going through the situations that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's not about you, but it's about these children and a generation behind me,
Right.
right?
Right.
If God told you in high school that you would become the founder of a single family living organization, would you do it?
No. No.
Exactly.
No. He told me, he had told me that. It took me a long time to even I mean, to be honest, it took me a long time to get to that point where I knew I wanted to um, create a nonprofit organization to help single parents because of how people perceived me. And let me tell you, my parents been married for 100 years, and that's a blessing within itself. And I come from a strong religious family and loving family and supportive family. But I thought I was, a letdown because of those accolades that I received and that I worked my butt off. I thought I let myself down, and I let everybody that's put everything, all the knowledge and the love that they put into me, I thought I let them down. And when I thought that caused me to go into a sad state where I had dropped out of college, and I ended up being homeless and living in my car. And for several months. And within that point, I was pregnant um, with my son at the time, and something happened that was very tragic within that moment, where I found out that another friend of mine um, was also homeless, and they ended up dying in a car. Um, and she was also pregnant as well. And it was during the cold winter, where she forgot to turn the car on and stay warm. So when that happened, and I found out at that moment, I knew that I had to reach out to my mom and dad. And I ended up going to a payphone and, um, calling my parents, and my mom answered the phone, and I didn't have to say anything. She just, she knew at that moment that it things wasn't right. And I guess I understand that now. When you have kids, within your every being that things is not right. Um, and at that point, when my parents, when I confided in my parents about um, all the trials and tribulations that I went through, um, they were like, "We support you. We love you regardless." And I knew at that point in my life what unconditional love is. I wouldn't need to be perfect, because all those times in my life I tried to be perfect. Everything, perfect grades, perfect Jerry, everything has to be planned out to be perfect. And, I was pretty much a people pleaser, very shy. And at that moment, when my parents said they love me unconditionally, I knew what that was about. I knew what that meant. And from that point on, I began building my life back up, not just for me, but for my unborn child. And I wanted that legacy to be that, hey, you can rise above anything. So,
This is um it's I want to sad is not the word, because we undue pressure, right, can make or break us.
mm,
Some conversations were told to me that this is the standard and nothing less will suffice in my house. Some things I was like, this is too much.
yeah,
And when you said, like, you have to be perfect, that hit me like a ton of bricks,
mm,
because your parents know your potential, but then
yeah,
there's some way it's too much. Like, I just want to be a kid.
yeah,
And in those moments, it was so much pressure on me, I couldn't enjoy high school. Can you believe it? I didn't do
I,
nothing
I
outside
believe
of
you.
sports. I didn't go to none of the homecomings. I didn't do anything
Me
outside of
neither.
that. I was just like, in the books, sports, go home. Church, that was it. I didn't do, I didn't enjoy high school.
Yeah, and you
I
can't get that
didn't.
back. You can't.
And I can't. I can't
Unless
get
you live it through your kids and you be up there,
it's
but they
not
don't
even
want
the
you there.
same. Right. I couldn't. It was just like, this is my routine. This is the things, from dab step from middle school to,
Yeah.
the Cranbrooks to,
Yep.
Base Academy, all of these things. It was like, you have to be the best. In order for you, it was put in my head that because you're a black female, you have to achieve higher than the other races.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that. But even in that, when I tell you, as much as we did and
Still
much
not
as we
enough.
achieved, it still was not enough.
No.
I tell this all the time. My first chapter in a University of Michigan in math was the whole 4 years that I did and excelled in math in Osborne.
Yeah.
You talking about embarrassment? You
Yeah.
talking about be pushed ourselves? We didn't know. Like, I didn't know how to study
Yeah.
because you really didn't have to, because it
Yeah.
was just like I didn't know. So a lot of the things is like, now that we are in a place of empowerment, we're now in a place of understanding what pressure does.
Yeah.
Now you know, like, look, I can't do this to the next generation. We're going to tell you by the life experience that we had. But at the end of the
Yeah.
day, yes, you have to be successful. Yes, you have to do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, the way it was brought to us, we got to do this in love.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so,
That
you know
breaks
what?
my heart. Like, hearing, I lived in a car too.
Yeah.
I didn't have, I wasn't, I wanted to have kids, but it just didn't happen. And I'm saying yet. It has not happened yet. But at the end of the day, I was still in a place of I couldn't go home because
Right.
I felt like you did. Like, I disappointed them. Like, you
Right.
should have been, like, but
Like
the
we had a better,
process,
higher standard for you.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is no, I'm not throwing my parents under the bus because, they went through some things as well. But when they had kids, they wanted the best. And and of course, when you have kids, you want the best for your kids and for your family. But as a African American family, it's you have to be able to prepare them and make sure that they are just as good as anyone else out there, because you got to be able to walk on water. Let's just put it out there. You got to be able to walk on water. You got to create the water. You got to bring the water to the ocean. You got to be able to, give the water to your family when you make it. So, I mean, that's just, you know, that's just the way it is. But for me and my family, I was in my own head in my own way, and by no means that my parents was like, okay, you're on your own, you're just out of here. No. And that goes all the way down to my siblings. Even they helped. They helped me be the better person, and you know, made me look at myself and say, hey, you know what? Um, this is just a consequence. It's not something that is going to last forever. A situation is not going to be your be all as a human being. And people out here that is outside of our circle, they don't know you. They don't know you. They don't know the type of things that you are capable of, and they don't know your soul. They don't know, the spark that you can give to other people when you make it. And we're going to all, gravitate to you so you can make it because you've helped others within that realm. So that's how I'm able to sit here today. I could have went down a whole different path in my life, but I was not pulled that way. I was pulled towards, you can do it. This is how we're going to help you. And this is the things that we know that you are capable of. How do we get you back on your feet? And I know a lot of the parents and the single parents that I met on the street as, being homeless, they didn't have that. They were like, okay, their parents, your family was like, okay, you pregnant, then you out of here. It's you got to go, and I saw a lot, and I experienced a lot of sadness when I did see that. You just don't have anybody out here that's genuine, you know, and they see you struggling. They want to make sure they put your thumb down on you so you can struggle and, even more, and then laugh about it when you can't help yourself. And then they tell you, oh, you need to pull yourself up on your by the bootstraps. Well, how can I do that when I don't have any boots? How can I do that when I can't even afford socks with the boots? So it's important that, you know, when you have people that are in need and struggle, they don't need you ain't got to give them everything. Just give them a hand out, and help them to the next level. And when you help them to the next level, then they'll be able to stand on their 2 feet, and then they'll be able to go get some boots because they have that that foundation. And that's why I created single family living, because not everybody have a family like I have a family. you know Too many people that were single parents that I knew, they couldn't cope, so they went to another deeper, darker path, where it was maybe drugs or maybe death. And I knew I didn't want to be that way. I knew that there was more to life than just my my circumstances with my life. And I wanted something better, not only for me, but for my legacy, which was my child at the time. So, and I know when I have a son, which he ended up becoming a boy, that I needed to be around to teach him the fundamentals of life, not to teach him how to be a man, because I had my dad and my brothers to teach him how to be a man. I had uncles and everything, but to teach him how to treat a woman. And that's the most important thing to have being a single parent. You have to be able to teach your child that it's okay to have um, it's okay to feel, especially young men. It's okay to cry. It's okay to express your feelings, but you want to have them express their feelings in the right way, not the wrong way where they're acting out and hurting other people because they're hurting. And I wanted to basically try to help the children from single parents, and also help single parents through the children by providing them with those key things that I've learned in my life, and within my son's life, um, because it's people out here is not for you. Not everybody is for you. Not everybody want to see you succeed, and when they see you succeed, they're just waiting for you to fail, or they want to see how much they can do to you in order to try to stop you, and say, see, I told you, she wasn't as strong as I thought she was, because she couldn't do it. And it's unfortunate, because you have a lot of single parents that is out here that needs um, they need the motivation. That's number one. That's motivation. The money, yeah, they need some money, but the motivation to stay positive and be positive on a day-to-day basis, when you got so many people telling you that you can't do it, so many people telling you no, um, they need the motivation. They need mental health services. They need that, and they need that support, with not only for themselves, but they need it for their children as well, because it's traumatic when you are raising a child or children by yourself. I don't care what anybody say, it's traumatic. And you have to be able to be that be all woman or man as a single parent, and you don't get no breaks in between. You just don't, unfortunately. So I knew from that point on that providing services to help single parents was my purpose.
Which is, like I said earlier, being a trailblazer. We're the ones who have to go through the fire for others to understand what's the maze. How do I get out of here?
Yeah.
Leave your breadcrumbs. So when I go through this again, if I did, I'll be able to tell somebody how to get through.
Yeah.
Um, when you're in a place of need, of course, they want to know from A to Z all about your business to end up saying you make too much or you don't make enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I didn't need you, I wouldn't be here asking for the help. So what was that conversation, or what was that process like to actually go through the business plan to put this organization together?
I think it was, for me, it was more of my mindset thinking that I could do it. I was like, at the time when I did it, as was like starting to do it, I had my second child, and again, I'm a single parent again, and it was like, what's wrong with me that I can't keep someone, and what's wrong with me that I have another child out of wedlock? What's wrong with me? It was always about me and what I need to change, and it was never about, at the first time, it was about helping people. It was about helping myself. How do I allow myself to heal from this trauma? Once I got over myself, once I got over myself, then I was like, okay, this is something I want to do. I want to help others. I want to be able to, you know, teach people how to be able to survive as single parents, how to be able to get the resources that they need. Where should they get the resources? How do they help their kids with education? How do I help them with the education? And then I said, okay, how can I even help myself with my kids? With my kids. So it was a lot of going back and forth with myself. And I said, when I said I wanted to do it, then the number one question was how. And the second question was, how do I have the time? So when I figured those things out and I wrote it down and had a plan, I had to get back to the old Jeri. I had to find that Jeri where I planned everything and I was able to write down a year plan and then a 5-year plan and then a 10-year plan of where I want it to be, not only within my career, but also within my nonprofit. And then where do I see myself uh, with my kids? Where do I want to help my kids be successful? So I had all this. I mean, let me tell you, I could write a book, and I know a lot of people say I should, and I'm thinking on it, but it was more or less along the line where I needed to write down my plan and what I wanted to do and how I was going to do it. And then what type of people do I want involved in my plan? And what type of work do I need to put into creating this plan and having it to be successful? How many hours do I need? Because at the time I was going through, going to grad school, and it's like, how can I add all this on my plate and then have a full-time job and then be a single mom, and how do I do that? So I recruited my family, of course, to help me, but they can only do so much with my dream, with my vision. So I made sure that everything that I needed to do, that I did it in spurts. And spurts meaning that I just allotted time for myself in order for me to focus on that. So I researched everything. I researched, how do I start a nonprofit. I researched, how I can, start a business. And believe it or not, just because you have a nonprofit does not mean it's not a business, which it is. So that's another myth that people, go with. And from there, it was like, okay, now that I know how to do it, when do I do it? And when I set out to plot that, I was able to just have a complete business plan, because, again, a nonprofit is a business, regardless that it's a 501c3. What are the compliances that I needed to follow? And I just figured out what I wanted to do as far as how I wanted to help single parents and single families within a whole. And it's not about helping just single moms. It's not about helping single dads. It's about helping all aspects of single families, whether it's a grandmother, a aunt, um, a cousin who's decided to take on their, children, um, of a family member that passed away, because we have a lot of those single family structures where you have, um, grandfathers and grandmothers caring for their grandkids, and they're single parents as well. Well, where do they get the help? Who helps them? Who get provides them resources? They haven't done this in how many years? Where do they go? So that's some of the things that I had thought about, when I created the organization. And I didn't want it to be where they had to, be caught up in all this red tape. When they reached out for resources, we immediately try to do what we can to try to assist them.
Which is again good. I would have never thought about like some grandparents are actually single parents now. I would have never even thought about that. Again, um, going through the process yourself and seeing what was needed for yourself to be successful with your children. Um, of course, that wasn't part of our dream, but again, these things that we experience in life becomes another thing in itself, and it becomes who we are. It becomes the stamp of approval for your mindset. Might have been, oh, I disappointed, but I turned this thing around in my good in order for me to not only help me, but I'm helping other people who are in the same or was in the same boat that I was in.
Yeah.
um the idea of I used to think about swimming. It was easy for me because I've been swimming since I was a kid. So it becomes funny to me sometimes when I hear grown-ups like, I don't swim. I'm scared of,
Mm,
and I'm like, so what is it? My first question is, are you afraid of water? And
mm,
most of them are. Was it
mm,
a traumatic thing that happened, or you just don't like water?
mm.
And then there's the whole thing. The understanding of swimming is you cannot panic. You can't be in your head or you'll sink.
Yep.
If you start off floating first, then we can do everything else.
Yeah.
And in those moments when you are the teacher, you hold them by your hand, right? And you walk them through this until they're comfortable to be able to swim and float on their own.
Right.
So, again, in these moments, I want you to understand it might have been a weapon that was formed against you, but it won't prosper. It has not
Yeah.
prospered, and it will not.
I try to say that every day because I had worked I had numerous jobs. I had numerous jobs. And people assume things about you, and especially when they find out you're a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that they assumed was I didn't have any education. I was on welfare, which I was at a time, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I never will be. And another thing that they assume is that, ooh, I don't know how you do it, girl. I just don't know how you do it. I couldn't have did it. That's another thing that they say. And it's, to me, it's like a slight, because it's not a slight for me, but I feel that it's a slight to them because they don't know their inner strength as a woman. And I felt sorry for them when they thought that they were trying to slight me. I just felt sorry for them. And I answer the question when they say, girl, how'd you do that? How do you do this every day? How do you wake up every morning and be by yourself and have small kids, and just how do you even wake up? I was like, that's funny. I'm glad you asked that. I wake up because of God. I wake up and I thank God every day for his ultimate blessings, which is my kids and my health. And I wake up and I thank him. I thank him for allowing me to provide blessings to others and continue on trying to be positive and stay positive, even though people are out here trying to steal my joy. And my dad, he comes up with the craziest sayings I've never heard in my life. He just comes up with the craziest. But I never forget my dad telling me this. And I had called him crying because of a situation that somebody was trying to steal my joy from my job. And at the time I was in a crazy, crazy relationship. He told me, don't ever allow someone to steal your joy, because your joy is what makes you unique. You are the most beautiful person inside and out, and you're a strong young woman, and we raised you to be the strong woman that you are, and you are amazing. So when someone tries to say things or try to hurt you or try to break you down from who you are, you need to look in the mirror and say, I am amazing, I am strong, and nobody is ever going to steal my joy away. And thank the heaven up above for you. And I never forget that moment because I just broke down in tears. And I don't know if my dad remembers saying that, to me, but he says a lot of funny stuff. But he was serious. He was serious about that. And I carry that with me. I tell my kids that, and I want to let other people know that too. And I try to share that and spread that love and positivity, because there's so many people that is pushing their hate and their trauma onto others to make them feel bigger than what they really are. And it saddens me. But I try to keep on giving and nurturing as many people that I can. If I'm not able to assist you, then I definitely try to, find someone, or we try to find someone that try to help you through your life, um, to try to make it better. But I always let people know the work starts with you,
Mm-hmm.
and only so many people can help you and provide you with the resources. But if you don't take those resources and do what you are supposed to do with those resources to make yourself and your life a better life for you and your family, then there's nothing that we can do in order to try to make it better unless you
Absolutely.
put in the work. You have to put in the work.
Um, I just thought of something. Um, just who you are, and some people I've been friends with since I can remember. Um, there were three people in Osborne that I was very protective of.
Yep.
I'm gonna say four. I'm gonna say four.
Yep. For yep.
Um, and the reason why, again, just certain people you shouldn't mess with. For one, they're not gonna mess with you, so don't mess with them.
Right.
Um, and because people didn't understand these four people, they would try to say crazy stuff about them that was definitely not true.
Mhm.
Um, or say rumors, say just crazy stuff.
Right.
I remember Claire was one, Shakira Ahmed, which I call my sister. You was one,
Yep.
and Jamila Webb. Even though Jamila was popular, like everybody thought we
Yeah.
were sisters. I guess light skin with freckles. I don't know what that
I
was.
loved. Oh my gosh, I knew her since kindergarten.
And believe it or not, she was the wrong worst person. Y'all thought I was bad.
They don't
She
know.
was
They didn't know
very,
Jamila. No, they
they
didn't
do.
know her.
I'm like, I want to tell you, you might want to mess with me and not her. But however,
I
um,
love her. She's amazing.
and
Yeah.
my brother, when my brother finally came to Osborne,
Yeah.
those were the ones that I was very, very protective of. Why? Because I knew their potential.
Right.
I knew. Even as time progressed and how life has progressed, those are the ones I still keep in contact with or I'm watching.
Me
Most of
too.
the people that um I've had on this show, I've been watching for a while, or somebody tells me about them. This right here is very special to me, very heartfelt, because again, I've known you since I've known you.
Right.
Even though life has taken its toll, life has dealt us some crazy hands, at the end of the day, we still win. I want you to walk away from here understanding I knew you then. I didn't have to talk to you every day. I didn't have to see you every day. I knew you. There was a time you came in the room and you were crying. I literally had to hold myself back trying to figure out what was wrong with you,
Yeah.
because I was like, whoever did it is about to be in some serious trouble.
Yep. Yeah.
Serious trouble. Like you can mess with me all day. I'm hard as the whatever. Whatever you say to me is not gonna hurt me at all.
Right.
But these ones you mess with or you touch, you gonna have to deal with me.
Right. You going yeah.
I'm serious. I wish I would have known you during this time, but the way God does things, everything is in decent and in order.
Exactly.
Now, today, I get to tell you how beautiful you always been, how unique you've always been. You still are somebody I wish they would mess with you.
Yeah.
And I mean
They're not gonna do it. They're not gonna
it. And I mean it.
that was a different person. They're not gonna do that now.
But
No.
I've always um loved you for you. Like even like I can see you in your overalls. That's crazy that I remember this. Like your
Oh my
overalls
gosh, yeah.
and how you I mean just how you were. Like is sometimes you wish you could take the pain from people. Like I can put it on me
Yeah.
and carry it for you. I would have. I promise you I would have. But this was the thing that God used to get you here, for
Yeah.
you to develop the single family living. For those who and for those who know somebody who's single, or for those who feel like even in these times and what's going on, you go to the grocery store, the grocery man is ridiculous on the prices, um and trying to get housing and things of that nature, trying to, educate and make sure your kids are good. Somebody has gone through the fire for you.
Yeah.
Jeri went through the fire for you. She knows exactly what it means to be homeless. She knows what it means to go through those moments of carrying an unborn child, trying to figure out which way she gonna go, seeing death from somebody else. There's no reason for you not to put your pride down. It's people out here that can help you get to where you need to. All you had to do is open your mouth and ask for help. I'm reminded of a story where, the guy, he was on the water and he kept asking God for help.
Yes.
And God sent him the scuba diver. God sent all these different people to help him. He was like, well, I'm just still waiting on God. He dies.
Yep.
And he gets to heaven and he asks God, God, why you didn't send me no help? He said, I did. You rejected me. So sometimes you don't know where help is going to come from or what it looks like.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't know. You have no clue, no idea.
Right.
But I'm saying today, if you need help, whatever it may be, if she can't help you, she'll put you in the right direction. This is not the season nor the time, especially it's about to be cold, for you to be prideful, not to ask for help. It's help out here. That's why I'm here. I'm a connector. I put you in the right direction with the right person. I told you, you literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again. You don't know who I know. The stories may be different, but I promise you, we're more alike than we are different.
Yes.
You will never know until you have a conversation, not an interview. This is never going to be. It's a conversation. I'm excited to see you. I'm excited to know that you're still in the land of the living. My
Yes.
life has been totally changed because of you.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
I promise you. And I'm not just saying this because I remember you. This biggest tomboy ever, but a nerd as well and
Yeah.
an athlete.
Yep.
You pricked my heart back then, and you're still doing it to this day. So I'm gonna put your information up here. I think I copied it right.
Thank you for allowing me the space. Thank you.
Honey, I'm just saying you have no, and I'm trying to hold my tears back. Like literally, I can see you like our days in Osborne and classes, like taking notes and like we got a test today. Ask Jeri, she know.
Yeah, I was on point. Yeah.
In some classes we had, I think you were with Marshall. I think you had them before me, and
Yep.
so we were all sitting like, "What was the test? What
Yep.
you better
And
study."
he was one of the hardest, and I was like, he ain't gonna get me.
Yes, it
I
was.
ain't gonna get God.
No, but it was just the point that just how we were when we were at Osborne, same thing that we're doing now in our life, still being a helper, one to another.
Yeah.
I can't do this by myself, and nor can you.
Nope.
So I tell you out loud, if you ever need me, I am here. You have my number.
Okay, we got this on recording, right?
Yes, you have my number,
Okay.
my email, and everything else that goes with it. But I would love to connect with you in person soon. Um, and all my Osborne people, come on now. We don't have to wait until a 10-year reunion to get together to check on one another. Life is too short.
Yep.
And we don't know what you need. We don't know what you're doing unless you tell us. So again, I know I said a lot, but is there anything else that you want to say to the people?
Yeah. Um, Especially to the single mothers. Um, and this is from the heart. Know your worth. Know your value. Know what you can do, and know how empowered that you are, and continue on believing within yourself that you can change you can change one person, and sometimes that's all you need is that one spark to change the world and their views. So thank you.
Absolutely. Just to add to her, I have aunt who lives in Indiana, um, Vanessa, who was married at the time, but she taught us some lessons at a young age. And she said, no matter what, if he chooses to leave, not knowing that this was going to happen, but she said, always have yourself together just in case they decide to leave. You're not one trying to scramble around, trying to figure things out. You're already doing it as if he had already left.
Mm.
Strong woman. She's been a cop, a foot doctor. She's a she done did so much. She's a professor. She's been a pastor's wife. She's done it all. And she's still doing it to this day. She raised two beautiful daughters. She's a grandma, and even in those moments, people, I want you to understand the village still exists.
Yes.
The village is still raising me. The village is still supporting me. I understand I can't do this by myself, and neither can you. So if you don't get anything else from this conversation today, just know that there's people out here who really care and who have a genuine heart to really help you. I'm not here to get nothing from you. I'm not here to exploit you. I'm not here to, because you're down, to kick you while you're down. That's not what I'll do. If I know someone to help you, I will do that. This is what we need. That's what we need to go back to. Caring for our neighbors, caring for
Mm.
our loved ones, because that's what raised me. I don't care what state you are in. It doesn't matter. Mental health, it doesn't matter. If you need it, it's here. So I said all that to say in the before we get off, I just released the book, the Blueprint Guys Design. It is out on Amazon. All you have to do is type in my name and it will come up. Kamilah space Foster. Foster. The real spelling of my name, people. Kamilah. I have to spell it differently on Facebook for people to say it now. Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, also, Jeri's information is back on the screen. So, if you want to give or donate or any of that, or you need help, this is her information to get in touch with her. Um, and please do that. If you want to support new coats, prom dresses, all of that, you can do that too. Because around that time, we want to look good too. And so do our
Yes.
children. So whatever you can do, please do that. Again, her information is on the screen. If you want to donate to the show of Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine, it is Cash App $ Sunshine Kamilah, the real name. That's how you spell it. Cash App again, $Sunshine Kamilah. Oh, before we leave, is there any other story that you remember about me in high school? I have to remember because I don't
Oh
remember.
my gosh. Why you put me on the spot like this?
I'm just saying.
Um, One thing that stood out to me was and this is so embarrassing for me. I think I was being bullied, and somebody was doing something to me. I'm not gonna say who did it, but that moment where you said that you saw me crying, and I had walked in the classroom, you did say something to me, and you told me that I don't know what's going on, and I know you don't want to tell me who's messing with you, but I got you. And you said I got you, and we've been friends for a long time now. So, you know, and I just want you to trust me. And it's just that meant a lot.
Wow, that sounds like me. That I remember several instances with different people like that, where they were getting bullied, and I
Yeah.
just that didn't sit right with me. I was like, whatever you issues you have with them, you got it with me now, and I meant that.
Yeah.
Um, and then what they didn't know is with athletes, we all fight together.
Yeah.
We all fight together. So it wasn't just like it was me. It was the basketball team. It was the volleyball team.
Yeah.
It was the football team. It was everybody. I wish you would.
Yeah. And I was very awkward. I was really like tomboyish, and um, people said, some mean things about me.
Yes, they did. They said
And
the same thing about me, but
but you
they
was
would.
yeah. Me, I was not. I was more like if I'm not messing with you, then I don't want no trouble. I'm just here for my education, and that's about it, you know. But I met some amazing friends, some lifetime friends, um, including Claire and Shakira, Tabitha, Chris, all of them.
Yes.
And, you know, those are lifetime friends. And if I missed your name, I'm sorry, but um, I wouldn't have changed that experience for the world.
Yeah. Those I remember, and I'm gonna let you go. Freshman Friday when my brother came, and I had got word that they was gonna mess with my brother, and they didn't know that that was my brother,
Oh no.
and so it was easy. Like Lamont, all of the football players that were upperclassmen who came in with us was like, "I got your brother." They didn't know my brother was on the football team either, so it was like, "I wish you would." So
Yeah.
before I could get done with my classes, they had already grabbed my brother in the gym area. Like, no, don't go out right now.
Hmm.
And so again, when I tell you the tribe, you don't know who you know until it's time for you to know.
Right.
And they kept my brother from getting beat up because that was the freshman Friday thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
They would
You
chase
We had
people
to
through.
calm you down too. I
Yes,
don't know if you remember that, but we
it
had
was
to calm you
crazy
down.
because when you're the oldest, nobody's gonna mess with my siblings.
Yeah.
Nobody. And so I had to make sure that my brother was good. And then once I found out he was good, the football team had my brother. I didn't have to worry about him no more.
Right.
So when I tell you, even to this day, again, I got you, sis. And I mean it.
Thank you.
So enough of all the tears and crying and all of this great stuff.
You didn't know that was gonna happen. You was like, "Oh, this girl here."
But memory lane is something else. But to see that you are being used and your kids have the best mom ever.
Well, we got that on recording. I'm gonna let them.
Yes, yes. Please replay it. And if they have any issues, they don't want Auntie to come down there. Okay, I still
Thank
got
you. Thank
it.
you.
So anyway, I love you. I will send you the replay so you can, share it to your people. Again, please like, share, and subscribe, everyone. If you want to donate, you want to help Jeri do what she do best, this is her information. Again, if you want to donate to the show, again, it's Cash App, $ Sunshine Camila. Again, we will see you on Tuesday where I have Avery Smith, and on Thursday I have Rodney. I can't think of his name right now. But just tune in. Again, thank you so much, Jeri. This is a special edition on a Sunday just for you. Again, I believe in six
Sunday's
degrees.
best.
I know. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It's been proven. And I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Peace.